Let's talk about finished walls. The best way to install waterguard is against the foundation wall. In order to do that, the bottom of the finished wall must be cut away. The salespeople need to make a decision with the homeowner about this. The best way is for the homeowner to agree to have you cut the walls as necessary to install the waterguard system properly. Some homes you may just have to cut the bottom 4 inches off the wall, like if the wall is made of just furring strips. In other cases, the wall is a 2x4 stud wall that may have some space between the back of it and the foundation wall, so you'll have to cut the wall 2 feet high to get your jackhammers in there. Make sure the homeowner understands what you're going to do before you cut a wall open. Sometimes you just have to cut the sheetrock, and you can use a sawzall and cut the nails between the bottom plate and the studs and slide the bottom plate out. If you have to cut sheetrock, then cut it higher than you cut the studs, so a carpenter can screw blocks to the sides of the part of the studs that you leave in place. Cut the sheetrock first and pull it off the wall, and then look for pipes and wires in the wall before you cut the studs. It doesn't take a lot more work or materials to restore the bottom 8 inches of the wall compared to restoring the bottom 14 inches of it. So if you're going to cut the wall, you may as well cut enough to get in there and do the job properly. One problem of cutting walls and having them restored after you're done is that if there's a wall leak behind that finished wall and the water gets on the insulation or the studs and drips on the floor in front of the waterguard, then you have a problem. So when you open a wall at the bottom, look up behind the wall at the foundation to see if the wall is leaking or it has leaked. If so, you can slide a piece of Brightwall up there to cover a wall leak and drain it down behind the waterguard. Or you may have to do this along the entire length of the job. If you want to try to install waterguard without cutting the finished walls, then you'll have to tunnel under the walls to get the concrete out all the way back to the wall. This is very difficult in most cases and impossible in other cases. If you don't get the concrete out all the way back to the foundation wall, then there's a chance or a likelihood that the finished walls will get wet on the bottom and rot. We don't recommend this unless the homeowner understands and has made that decision. Cutting the walls with metal studs is a bit different. You can cut the sheetrock and then cut the front and back web of the metal stud and bend them up out of the way instead of cutting them completely off.